On Health Watch, the dangers of summer heat. As the mercury rises, so does the risk of heat-related illness. Our Dr. Emily Sine is here with more on dealing with high temperatures. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Russ.
Who is most at risk from problems from the heat?
Well, the people who are typically vulnerable to all sorts of problems, very young children and the elderly. Kids under the age of 4, people over the age of 65 are most vulnerable to heat-related problems. But not only those groups, people who are obese, people who have chronic conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, who are on numerous medications. These are also vulnerable populations to getting into trouble with the heat.
What kind of problems are we talking about here?
Well, the first thing that you worry about is heat exhaustion. This is a serious condition, not as serious as some other things. Symptoms include heavy sweating, paleness, muscle cramps, tiredness, weakness, dizziness, headache, nausea, or vomiting. The classic scenario is the guy, the yard worker out there middle of the day who's not taking breaks, who begins to experience these symptoms, becomes uncomfortable, and really hasn't taken proper breaks, so gets into trouble that way. But this is not the most serious thing that can happen. There are certainly other problems that develop.
Let's talk about those. What other serious problems can develop?
Well, first of all, it's important to understand that your mechanism for cooling yourself off is sweating. If your sweating mechanism fails, that's where you start to get into real trouble. Your core temperature can go up to 104, 105 degrees. That's when you start worrying about heat stroke. And heat stroke is really a medical emergency. The symptoms of heat stroke are more severe than that of heat exhaustion and include confusion, people who have red, hot, dry skin, a rapid pulse, throbbing headache, dizzy, nausea.
Yeah.
Many people become unconscious from heat stroke. Again, this is a medical emergency. If you think someone is experiencing heat stroke, you want to get them out of the heat, obviously. You want to get them into air conditioning, pack them with ice, and call 911.
Do most people realize what's going on as they're experiencing these things? It's a hot day?
No, I don't think so, because it's a continuum, and a lot of people for whatever reason, particularly elderly people, maybe they're in their neighborhoods, they're afraid to open their door, open their windows. They probably do not feel the effects, maybe because they're also elderly, and they get into real trouble. And that's why checking on your neighbors, checking on your grandparents, and obviously making sure that people that you love are well cared for is important.
Obviously, there's some things you don't want to do in the heat. How do you avoid having these problems?
Right. This is really important. People need to make sure that they're well hydrated. That's first of all. And it should be non-alcoholic, I should add.
Good point.
Pace yourself when working outdoors. You want to take frequent breaks. Try to work, if you can, morning hours or late afternoon hours. You want to replace salts and minerals, wear lightweight clothing, seek air conditioning, take cold showers, and try to be familiar with these symptoms so that you do not get into trouble.
And if you don't have air conditioning, but go to the movies that day,
you can go to the movies, go to the mall. A lot of schools will open on particularly hot days, and I think today, in this part of the country, it's going to be one of those days where you might want to get yourself to the mall if you don't have air conditioning.
94 degrees in New York, heat index, I'm told, of 105.
Wow.
I think you are correct, Emily.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.